As a 26-year-old first tour Foreign Service officer going to Vietnam, I didn't know quite what to expect, but I never imagined that in that first assignment I would come up against the issues of torture and become involved in it and have to make decisions. This came while I was district senior advisor in Duc Thanh District, and where a Viet Cong undercover agent was captured by the South Vietnamese government. It was a woman, and she's brought as a prisoner to the Vietnamese compound where we were co-located, and for interrogation. And there was a building where the South Vietnamese government would do this. This is a very highly unusual occurrence. And I had one member of my team, a young U.S. Army second lieutenant, who was the intelligence coordinator. And he was present when they were beginning to question this woman, who was apparently very reluctant, would not say anything, but it was their belief that she knew a lot and she had information that could affect when the Viet Cong might attack their forces, might attack our compound. And so he was asked to leave by the Vietnamese officers there, and his interpreter said to him, "They want you to leave because they are going to use torture on this woman. They will hook her up to a battery and use electric shock on the most sensitive parts of her body to force her to reveal this information." So my officer rushes over to our office and tells me this. And so here I am in the middle of this, and we had discussed this with our senior supervisors before. What would ever happen if we were ever in a situation where torture might be used? Sort of a theoretical question. I never really imagined it would come up. And our senior American supervisor had said, well, you know, we could never countenance torture, we could never approve it, but maybe what you should do is just let the Vietnamese deal with Vietnamese. So in my mind, I have this, having been told that, but I've got to make a decision about what to do. So I'm standing there, I have these two other U.S. Army officers who are with me. We're listening to my second lieutenant tell me the story about what's to happen, and we were all in agreement about one point. We're Americans. We don't torture people. I rushed over to the district chief's compound, to his office, and I pushed my way in and told him there's about to be torture used on a woman prisoner who was just brought in, and this can't happen. You must stop it, and if it goes on, I will report it up to the provincial level, and it'll be brought to the attention of your superiors there, and from there it will have to be reported to higher levels in Saigon, because this cannot happen. I think he was startled and taken aback by how forceful I was. In other times, if we wanted to convey ideas or recommendations, we might do it more gently, but there was no time or place for that. I had to be extremely direct and blunt about it. He assured me that it won't happen. He'd stop it. He started giving orders in Vietnamese to his subordinates. I went back to my compound and I got my second lieutenant, and I told him what had just happened. And but I said, trust, but verify. You go back over there right now. Don't take no for an answer. You go in the room and you are there to ensure that this doesn't happen. So here I was in this remote location. If I had chosen to just turn my back and not intervene or not become involved, probably no one would have known, wouldn't have made any difference about how my superiors considered me, but I would have known. And everything that had been instilled in me growing up. Everything I believed about our country couldn't allow that to happen. So I took the action I did, and I'm glad that I did. It was the right thing, and I'm very proud of that.